All right, so just going to go ahead and start something here. So we are in midterms, and well, we passed midterms, okay. And some people didn't turn in certain things, so you may have gotten a grade that was kind of scary. But, however, if you can turn that stuff, I'm going to send. I have a rubric that I do, so you can see how, especially the portfolios, so how you can see the how I grade it, and then the things that you're missing, and I'll send that to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put it in your folder, okay? So that way you can have it, and you can see, as long as you get me that information by the end of the semester, I'll just put it into Moodle with the grades, and then it will, you will have a final grade, okay? Um,
Do
as
you know if you've ever seen anything in my portfolio? I turned it in when it was due, but I just don't know if I did it 100% correct.
well, I would have to see, Jasmine, what it
Okay.
is that if, because I think there were some things missing, because
Mm-hmm.
you didn't turn in your sketchbook, did you?
Uh, I would have to.
That was, okay, so if you look on your syllabus, there were three things, right? One was the quiz, which everybody did well on. The second was a sketchbook. And remember I told y'all that, oh, and Jasmine, I want you to, instead of putting it in the portfolio, with all the images, I want you to show me a video of you going through and showing
Okay.
the images in your book. Okay? So that's how you can get that in there. So just make sure you get that in there. I just a video of you just flipping through them, so I can see that you were working in your sketchbook. And
Okay.
that's a lot of people. That was what brought kind of the grades down too, because that was a component of your grades, okay? And that was on your syllabus, but of course I didn't. But remember, I said turn in your sketchbook. So just make sure you get that in there, and then I'll go back probably about a week or so, give y'all time to do it. And then I will look at them, and then I will add them to the Moodle grade sheet. And that way you can see, once I add them in, where you are, okay? And so, and then, like I said, I'll put that little rubric that I did to grade things in, so you can see exactly, what you're looking for. I mean, if you just turn it in, how's it go? You get 10 points right there. If you complete all the assignments, you get this so much. The presentation, I'm evaluating on, the videos and, the work that you're showing me, all that stuff. Usually, when I talk presentation, is how you're showing it, in your portfolios. If there's not messes and squitches or whatever, I will do that. But most of the time, because you guys are not moving that stuff around too, it doesn't get smudges and stuff. Um, Another thing we need to, who's there? Who came in? I see someone. Let me move this recording thing out the way. Oops, get out the way. Oh. Okay, so what was the other thing that? Oh, there's Chris. Some people are also the material you're using too. Like we're going to start using some uh, uh, charcoal, okay? And charcoal can be messy, and what we call it is fixative. You have to spray what we call fixative to do that, especially like chalk, and we're going to be using charcoal. So charcoal, you're going to have to fix it onto the surface. If not, it's just going to get over everywhere. It's going to smudge and get to the back of your paper. So there is commercial fixative, where it is an artist fixative. There are two types. Fixative, where you can't go back in and draw in it. Okay, that's your final thing. You're sealing that drawing. The second one is called workable fixative, in that you can spray and then go back in, and it's not as messy. You can layer and then spray again, and then you can do a final. Ooh, my thing went off. Can y'all see me? Okay. I guess because I'm not moving. But let me move this over a little bit so you can see me a little bit more. There. Okay. So Yeah, because I saw some people, working with the charcoal. Just make sure you can either use the workable fixative that you can probably get. They might have it, either any kind of Michaels or something like that. You can do it. I think even Walmart might have it. It's called spray fixative, or you can go the cheap way. But once you put this on, you can't go back in. Okay, so this is the hairspray. Aquanet is probably the best, but it has to be not a pump. It has to be like an aerosol where okay. You can use that too, and that's a little cheaper because of course anything that says artist thing on it, it's always going to be more expensive. But you got to be about 6 to 10 inches away. You just want to get the spray on the surface, and that'll work just as well. It's if you don't want to, invest in the spray fix, but don't get right on it because it's going to make your paper yellow. Okay, so you want just the mist of it. So about 6 to 10 inches away, and do a continuous spray. Right, you want it even. Okay, that's how you seal like your pencil drawings. You can seal them too, but especially the charcoal. Okay, so we talked about line and contours and gestures and trying just to work the surface of the drawing. Now we're going to start thinking about how you put your drawings together. Okay, so we need to talk about space. Okay, space. Let's see which book. I'm looking on. We're going to be looking at page 74. I'm going to go briefly over page 74 through, I think it's chapter, what is this? It's part 2, they're calling it, Spatial Relations of the Art Elements. And then we're going to hop to, because with space, shape is going to be important. We've talked about line, now we're going to go into shape. And then we're going to do some things here so I can show you. There's an assignment that I have. It's very, it's interesting and fun too, that y'all can get this concept of a shape turning into form, right? Okay, so space, the final frontier. I'm just kidding. It is, so let's see, what does your book say here? Okay, so humans have the susceptibility to spatial illusions. Have you ever y'all seen those drawings that you look at them, it could be a vase, it could be a face, right? It flip-flops, and it also tells you about if you see this first, this means that you have this type of personality. If you see that the other way, you have this other person. It's about perception, and this is what they're talking about here. So humans have this susceptibility to spatial illusions. We readily interpret marks on a surface as spatial notations. This tendency stems from 3 main sources. First, our perceptual and cognitive systems, how how our brain sees the marks, and how our brain puts things together. Okay. So how we gather information from the world around us. Second is a psychological, the way we feel about things. And third, the culture we live in. Okay? So when we're looking at, when I talk to my introduction to art students too, it's also about, if I look at a work of art and say Lewis looks at a work of art, he may have a different connection or a different experience looking at the same work of art, right? Because we have all different experiences that we're gathering and looking at it, right? We're carrying with us when we look at a work of art, right? Like if I look at, a mother and child painting, right? I can look at it iconography, this mother and child. You can look at it religiously, if you're Catholic, it's going to mean something different to you. If you are a mother, right, you're going to look at it differently. If you're a father, you're going to look at it differently. But most people can relate to that mother and child imagery, right? Nurturing, loving, unconditional love. But what if you had a bad relationship with your mother? You know what I mean? You didn't have, or you lost your mother very young, right? So you're going to look at these paintings a little. So we bring our emotions into it psychologically. But the best art, when you're looking at things, we all have the same feeling about it, right? Because this has to do with universal truths, right? We all know about love. We all know about sadness, loneliness, right? Anger, right? So these are universals, right? That most people can feel, and that's probably the best art. And they're not, as you say, what do they say? What do you call it when it's like fads, right? They don't, some things are just here for a brief moment, but they don't sustain because it's just for this time, right? But if it's universal and it's the whole human experience, then those are the ones that stay forever, because it can relate to any age, it can relate for any time period, because everybody knows about lost love, right? Everybody on this earth knows about lost love. So those ones, anything about that, these universal truths are will be the ones that hold the test of time, right? Or withstand the test of time. Okay, so we also like things that we call spatial ambiguities, right? In other words, an ambiguity presents two or more compatible interpretations, right? It's that vase-face thing, right? It's that some people can see something different, this kind of thing. Did you see on the, what was it, like YouTube or something? They had a dress that everybody said it looked a different color, and then people, you're crazy, that is interpretation, that is ambiguity, right? That is, some people, I didn't realize as an artist, maybe that's why I'm an artist, I see more colors than the normal person. I was like, I didn't know that. I was like, but then, I did a little test thing, and I could see everything. And some people go, no, or that's that color. No, it's obviously not that color, because, it's just the way my brain is, Some people are like, mostly artists are probably like that. They see connections in colors, and they see more colors, and so it's interesting. I don't even know what I would do if I was colorblind. I probably wouldn't be an artist, right? Okay, so ambiguity. One of the most famous art, you've probably seen his work. This is in your book on page 74. Have anybody heard of M.C. Escher? I'm sure you've seen his work. He plays around with perception, how space can be twisted around. Let me see if y'all can see this on your, let's see if I can get it close enough. I don't know if you can see. You see how he changes? You're going up the stairs one way, and then you're going down or you're going up the back of the stairs. Let me get that straight. And you're going to, his stuff does that. He plays around. He draws these things like either stairs, that, very realistic, right? But then he plays with your perception. And so he's changing the perception of those chairs, right? It looks convincing because it's drawn realistically, right? But then he messes with our spatial, wait a minute, how can that be? So it's flip-flopping from one perception to the other, all in the same drawing. Another artist, this one is but realistic. He was a graphics designer, so his stuff is going to be very more realistic, but he's messing with you. He's messing with our perception. So here is another artist. This is Oscar Dominguez, and he's a surrealist. I think we talked about surrealism before. Surrealism has to do with dream state or dream imagery, and he's also messing around, because if you think about it, your dreams, you wake up and go, what the heck was that? I always have a lot of flying dreams. You know, I'm just hovering above ground. Like I'll jump and then I never come down and I'm just hovering. Okay, now I don't know what that's about. But anyways, maybe I'm sharing too much. But so here is one. Let's see if y'all can see that one. Can you see him? Oh, let me get it closer. See if the light's all right. So this one, if you look at it, I see a face, right? And then I see the face, and then you see almost like an eye thing. But then you have this black border, you know, the face, but the head almost looks like he has a blockhead, right? Or some people see it like looking out a window and looking at the crescent moon. Does anybody see that?
Yeah.
So it's, you know, it's open into interpretation, right? Like you're looking at the head of this thing, or it could be like the opening of something because of the black background. So it's also playing around with your perceptions, right? So, and that's more abstracted, right? Other than the thing. So let's look at, so space, let me show you some, hold on, let me turn this light off. Can y'all see me well? Because I got my light on, but the light, big light went out. Let me see. It is on a, we'll talk about, let's do space and we'll talk about shape in a bit. All right, so okay, so when you're working on, y'all can see that, huh? When you're working on a paper or a painting or something like that, this is called your picture plane, okay? Now this one is longer, it's more rectangle. The way you, the way you place things on the surface can also just suggest space, right? So when you're looking at a work of art, okay, so if something is lower in the composition, right, the thing that you're getting ready to create, it always appears to look like it is closer to you, right, in the composition, okay? So if I make a circle here, okay, and then if I make a circle up here, they could be the same size, but this looks like it's closer to me than it is, okay? I can show more things to show that that's far away. But another way you can do to show things that are far away is to make them smaller. Can y'all see that? So now it looks like it's going back in the distance, right? So that is the placement and size and shrinking to size, because the way we perceive, the way we actually see things, if you notice, if you're sitting on a street, looking down the street, all the cars that are parked look smaller when they get farther away from you, and they're less detailed, right? So another thing you can do is when they go away from you, they start to overlap too. And that's another way of showing how a space, by just using the space here. So if I do this, right? And if you notice, it's a little higher than this one. So this one's in front of that one, but it's also higher up in the composition. So it's also telling me it is farther back, okay? So placement is going to be important. And you'll notice it's just by putting shapes onto the picture plane, right? You can play with that. I can even, you know, start to play with, right? As I go, and you can start to see it's working through the composition just by using placement, right? Where on the picture plane are these objects? What kind of space do I want to use? And these are really good ways of creating space in your flat, because this, remember, we are working on a two-dimensional surface, okay? Two-dimensional meaning it's got height and width, right? So when we start to do this, we are creating the illusion of three-dimensionality, okay? That's what artists do. We are making illusions of an image onto this. Maybe I'll push this up a little bit so you can see it a little better. Okay. I'm trying to think whatever. Also, let me show you, let me think. You can also change, flip it over here. Flip it around. Let's do this. Let me do this here. Oops. Put that back over there. Okay. You can also play with, you know, space in here that, you know, I could put okay? So you can play with the space here, and that, what can I do? What can I do here to create, now they look like they're standoffish, right? They look like they're getting ready to fight, or they're getting ready, or they're, you know, going away from each other in some way, right? They're almost pulling apart. They're showing that, and it's also accentuating the horizontal of the piece. Now, you can always add into, let's see, what can we make this interesting? Shape can we do? Let's do a triangle and see what happens. Okay. So what does that do to composition? So what does this side look like it's going to do to that side?
Go towards it?
Yeah, it's now, looks like it's going, there's no movement, but it's now going in and invading, if you will, that space of that side. I don't know if it's a good thing, it's a bad thing. So placement is what I'm trying to show you here, that you can do things here. So what if this guy, let's see, maybe we'll do squares. So now it's going, oh yeah, I can block you with my squares, right? So it's just this, you know, and then you're incorporating it. You can even, you know, now that I've done this, you can look at, you know, you can mess around with, especially with abstraction, you can mess around with the composition and see what it looks like from another view, right? And so it can change what the composition can do, what it's now looking like, you know what I mean? So what does it look like in this format?
Like they're invading to me.
That's what?
In an invading form, like going towards that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's a different approach. So some artists, you know, when they're working abstractly, will turn it around to see compositionally, you know, what is it, what am I trying to say here? So they will spin, you know, try to figure out what they're doing. Okay, so interesting ways of creating space on the two-dimensional surface, okay? So let's talk about, so playing around with the space is going to be important. I want you to learn how to use that space in a very, some of you guys, I mean, just by looking at your drawings, and so some of y'all have a very unique compositional approach, which is good. You know, some of them, I was like, you know, when I'm looking at y'all's art, when I stop and I go, oh, that's really interesting. Like some of y'all's gesture drawings or your contour drawings, they were beautiful. I was like, oh, that is nice. You know, because I was just like, oh my, it was a nice shape, right? It was a nice, wonderful line drawing. So some of them I just, you know, when I see it, I see, you know, you just stop and go, wow, this is pretty cool. So even it's simplistic, even though y'all were just doing the thing, it all has to do with your mark making. And the mark making has to do with what are you thinking about at that particular time. Sometimes artists don't think of anything, right? They're just trying to make that line look as interesting as possible. And so some of these were really amazing. Some of those blind contours were really cool. And some of those they were just neat. I mean, they were very, very, very interesting. And some people call it, as the surrealists call it, the unconscious mind is coming out, and you're seeing that that imagery come up. Let me see if I can get some light here. Okay. All right, so we're not talking about, let's talk about, okay, so we talked about space and how you can make interesting spatial compositions by just the placement of objects on the picture plane or the thing that you're working on. So we talked about line, we're going to talk about shape, okay? That's weird. I don't know. I guess because I'm not moving the thing. Oh, there it is. It's on a, you know, if I move, it'll do it. So shape, okay? There are two distinct types of shapes, okay? There's a geometric, meaning more man-made, right? So that would be your triangle, your circle, your, what is it, triangle, your square, your rectangle, right? Those are your geometrics, right? You can have, some will show, you know, combination, you know, like a diamond and everything. Those, even though those are natural, they look man-made, but they're not. It's a natural grown thing. But that would be considered it's a different type of shape. It's a multifaceted shape, if you will. But geometric is basically line and square, circle, triangle, and square, rectangle type of thing. Okay. So then you have the second one would be organic, right? Your organics are going to be like your amoeba shapes, right? Your organic is going to be, your geometrics, except for your circle, have pointed edges, straight lines and pointed edges, right? Organic is not. It's going to look like an amoeba or something that you're looking at through you know, things that, it looks like it comes from nature. It has curved, sensuous line, right? So you're talking, this is an organic shape, okay? And so your geometric, of course, would be, you see that triangle, sharp, pointy, you know, very hard edges, okay? So, just by playing around with shape, we're going to use, I think I want to let you work on this week, because I think it's a neat way of doing things. Okay, and plus you can look at it and you can see, and this will help you look at things differently, right? When you're looking at your work of art, well, your image that you're looking at is going to be important here. Okay, so what you're going to do, these are called isometric. These are called isometric drawings, or isometric. It's I-S-O-M-E-T-R-I-C, isometric. Now, these are based on parallel lines. Parallel lines never intersect, okay? Non-parallel lines, at some point in time, they will cross each other. Parallel lines, just for affinity, never cross, okay? So, what we're going to do is we're going to use a shape, right? And it has to be, you're going to do two. You're going to do 4 geometric shapes, and then you're going to do 4 geometric shapes, okay? But we're going to make these look dimensional, right? In other words, they kind of look like puzzle pieces sometimes, right? There's some people who show you how to do a cube and this kind of thing. So you know that a shape is different from a form, right? A shape is 2-dimensional. A form is 3-dimensional. So what would be the form of a square? What's the 3-dimensional component of a square?
Cube.
A cube, thank you. It's a cube. So what is the form of a circle?
Yeah.
A sphere, okay? And then triangle is a little different, but you got to change the edge. It would be more like a cone. A what?
I was about to say a pyramid type.
A pyramid, yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, the pyramid would be the triangle. You can also say maybe a cone, but you have to change the, you know what I mean, the circle. But the pyramid is perfect actually, because you're still keeping that same form of the triangle. But then again, it has the square bottom too. But yes, perfect. Okay, so what am I looking at? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to come up with 4 geometric, okay? In other words, you're just going to make, let's see. I'm going to try to keep them, oh, I made a cross, but let's make it a little bit more interesting here. Do another one. Do a triangle. Yeah, one more. I do it simple. Lord, that looks like a Nazi sticker. But anyways, okay. So what we're going to do, in each one of these, this will be 1, 2, 3. Okay? So each one of these, I'm going to show this almost as if it's a puzzle piece or a block. Okay? And they're going to use parallel lines, but I can show each one of these from a different perspective. I can show one from the right-hand side. I can show one from the left-hand side. I can show one from bird's eye view, and I can show from worm's eye view, like it's floating above me. Okay? So, number one, do you want to, which way do you want to say it? Right, left side, bird's eye view, or worm's eye view? Anybody? Huh? Left? Okay. So this one's going to be the left. You're going to see the side of the object from the left, okay? So the idea of this is parallel lines, okay? When you come to a point, okay, on these objects, you're going to draw a line, okay? But if the point where you're going into the object, you don't draw it, okay? So if this one's going to be from the left-hand side, my parallel lines are going to be on the left-hand side, okay? So I'm going to go to each point, and if I can draw a parallel, and it's important to keep it at the same angle, okay? Don't go up one and down. So, okay, so left-hand side. I'm looking at this point. I'm making a diagonal. I'm going to this point. If I draw it, it's on the inside. I can't draw it, okay? So I'm going to this second point, keeping the same angle as I have here. Going to this point, it's outside of it, so I can do it. I'm going to this point, keeping that same angle as I go. I'm going to this point, this one, I can draw it. It's outside of the object. But if I go to this point, it's inside of the object. I can't do it. So I'll go to this point, I can draw it. Go to this point, it's inside, so I don't draw it. Once again here, it's inside, I can't do it. And then I do it. So you have all these points that you're creating that same angle diagonal. So now, to complete the object, where this point is, where these kind of hanging out in space, I'm going to draw this line, right? I'm going to repeat the line that is part of the shape. So I'm going to come down using the same angle. Okay, so I can't go out because that's not what it's going to do. So then I don't have that point, okay? So those are, you do diagonal, vertical, and now I'm going to do the horizontals. And if you notice, these points are connected, so I'm going to use this line to connect the shape. Y'all see it? Huh? Let's see, maybe I get it close.
But
You
yeah,
see it? Y'all see what I did?
Yeah.
Okay? It's very important to keep them, don't go up to meet it. If this is your line, you have to keep it straight, okay? So this is from the left. You see how you can make it very simply by just doing it. I want you to take your time and do that. Make sure, do it with pencil so you can see. And then if you want to come back and make them darker, you can. But you can even, to accentuate that, you can even, you know, create another texture. To accentuate that. What am I doing here? You see? And then it becomes, now it's a form, okay? So on this one, it's more complex, so you're going to have a little bit more lines here. Which direction do you want this one to go?
The worm view at the top.
The worm's eye view? Okay. So I'm going to be seeing things from the bottom, all right? Oh, so worm's eye view to the bottom right or to the bottom left? So worm's eye view, seeing it from the right-hand side or the left-hand side? Let's try the right, because you did left-hand here. We'll try the thing here. Okay, so we're going to do, coming from the right. Oh, you know what? This was bird's eye view too, wasn't it? Okay, we'll try it this way. Okay, so we're going to start on the top. So I'm going to do my line going vertically from the top right to the left to get that look, okay? So I'm going to start here. If you notice, I can't draw that because it's inside. The same thing to this point, it's inside. The same thing here, but here it's outside, so I can draw it. Here is inside. Here, I can draw it. Here, no, 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 yes, no, yes, 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 no, yes, 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 no, and yes. Okay? Now I'm going to do my verticals. Okay, I don't have it there, don't have it there, but I do have it here. Oops, make sure you keep it straight. Keep it straight. Keep it straight. Lift that up. Okay, so now I'm going to do my horizontals. Oops. Oh, I did have them right there, sorry. Oh, oops, I'm in a boo-boo, hold on. Connected there. Okay, you see that? How it's changed direction. Okay, so let's see, right hand, how did I do this? Oh, let's do it from the, okay, we'll just do this so you can see this a little better. Okay, so we're just gonna go boom, 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 boom. Okay, so this is just showing straight up from the side, not a bird's eye view. Y'all see the difference? This is actually bird's eye view. So this is bird's eye view. This is left, right hand side, just straight up left, right hand. This is bird's eye view from, this is bird's eye view to the left. This is bird's eye view from the right. And then we'll do this one just straight up looking at it from the left hand side. Oh, y'all probably can see that better, huh? Okay, and I'm gonna do the horizontals here. And, oops. Y'all see that? That was a little smaller. I'll make it darker so you can see it. With my hands. There. I just got to move around. Y'all can see that? Let me do this one. Yeah, so y'all can see it a little bit better. What I should have done is, I normally start y'all can see them a little better, okay? What I do normally is I start with, so y'all can remind yourself, I start off with a cube. And you can do this when you're doing yours, so you can remember which one you've done. Oops, a cube. So this one would be bird's eye view from the right-hand side, right? Bird's eye view from the left-hand side. So 1, 2, and then this thing's gonna fall down. Okay. So then just from there, and then got a little close. Oops, what am I doing? And then down. Oh, down. There you go. Okay, so that was 1, 3, and 4. Okay? So, for your homework, you're going to do 4 of these, and then I'm going to show you how to do the geometrics. this is the isometric. This is the geometric, and I'm going to show you how to do the organics real quick. Now these always look like they're puzzle pieces, which is kind of cool. All right, so remember your organics with no curve, with no, let's see, one more. And then, let's see, it's a little bit foldy. Okay, so you can do the same thing using that, the line. So we'll go from, let's see, bird's eye view. So how you do this is where the object is turning. This is going to be from bird's eye view, left-hand side. The difference between the organics and the geometrics is that you're going to follow the curve of the shape. And then where you end is where that curve turns and goes to another direction, okay? So here you notice you're going to follow this curve. So you're going to follow this curve, but where it turns, you go into the object. Here, you're going to follow the curve here. You see? And then here, you're going to follow this, but where it turns, you're going to go into the object. Y'all see that? And you can see they almost look like little puzzle pieces or something. But these are your isometric organics. Okay? Oops. Let's do that. I gotta get a better easel here. Okay. So let's do, I might get a little close to the, okay, so let's do this side, bird's eye view to the left. So I'm going to follow the curve of the object here. Oops, now we should round it up. You shouldn't have, and then I'm going to go in here. This should be like more of a curve here. This should go, actually this should go all the way here, there. I'm sorry, this should not be here. Should it? It's too far down. Sorry, it's too far down. So we'll do this. And then these are a little trickier, but I think you'll get them. Hold on, this thing. Not liking it. Okay. And let's see, what other one we got to do? Okay, let's do up. Okay, so then we're going to go actually around this whole thing where it turns, and then you're going to go into that. Into that. Let's make this curving. And then let's do it this side. This one's not going to be from above. This is just going to be from but this one's gonna be easy. Sometimes you can make a little hole. Can y'all see that? I wonder if that's the same thing. That might be the same thing. Oh well. You get the idea. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna do your 1, 2, 3, and 4 to get the different versions of it, which is what I do here. So we do this one. Hold on, so you can see this one a little better. So this is 4. So you can see the little squares that's showing you the directions, even though mine are pretty rough, but that's what you're gonna do. Are there any questions about that?
The only question I have is, did we have an assignment last week? Because I tried to join the WebEx meeting and I couldn't.
No, because I think Lewis and I were the only ones here, so I said, you know, it was after well, it was during the, what was it? Oh, it was during the, trying to get my grades in and everything. So, no, we didn't. What I wanted you to do is make sure you're drawing in your sketchbook. That was the only thing I wanted you to do. So there was no assignment. I was going to wait until we got to today. So, okay, so this is what I want you to do, is you're going to do this assignment. You're going to do, these are called isometric drawings, okay? So you're going to do 4 geometric, each one doing a different direction, okay? And then the second thing you're going to do your organics, okay, doing the different directions, okay?
Okay.
And then we will go into, this is just, I'm trying to get you, used to working, with the dimensional, because we're going to start, doing form and everything a little bit. But shape, well, I want you to know about shape, and shape can be very interesting too. Some use abstract shape that it can be very, very compelling. A lot of you in your contour drawings have beautiful shape. I was like, ooh, that's nice. So, I mean, that's what, if y'all keep drawing like that and just you're going to see a development of that. So this is practice too. So we can really do some really interesting drawings. Most of y'all had that's why I like contours, because I can see, what your style is, how you interpret the line, and line can be very beautiful. So, anyways, well, good job, y'all. I know, but some people didn't have, but if you get those stuff into me, we can get that grade up. So I know there were some things that we didn't have, but that's cool. We can, I'm going to send, like I said, I'm going to send you everything that I did, and you're going to see, if you just turn in, you get so many points. So it's very important. I mean, you can get big points. You complete everything, boom, you got big points, right? So anyways, I'll send that, and then I'll put the list of things that I was missing, okay? At the time when I did it, okay? Any questions for me? Okay, so what I'll do, if there's no questions for me, we'll just do this. This is the next assignment, and then I will see you next Tuesday, and I'll probably get this up. I'm gonna probably email this to y'all on your sus.edu one, okay? Because that's the easiest thing for me to do. We're trying to get that, by the way, we're trying to get rid of all of that, because it's just been a nightmare with those 10 million, emails we have. We should just be at suno.edu. I mean, that's it. So I propose that we're going to go back to RMoval. Oh, by the way, I don't think I told you this, but I'm the Faculty Senate President. So I can change things if y'all want. So I can ask for that. So hopefully we'll get the Moodle, our Moodles back to us, and then we have just the suno.edu. So it won't be that confusing with the SUS, and it was just a nightmare this semester with this. So, but okay, we're on the second half. We have, it's going to be a little shorter because the last day of classes for us is going to be that Tuesday before Thanksgiving. So we're actually getting that Wednesday before Thanksgiving. We normally don't, but this year we are because it's a little shortened. And then after that, there will be the final. But what you're going to do is do the same thing for me. Whatever, make sure if you had your stuff, keep everything inside of that, inside of your folder for me. Because that way I can look back and, see if you put the stuff in and, make sure, that I get everything in there. And so I can evaluate and give you the best grade you can get, right? So, and that's what we're going to do. So you do just make sure you're up on all your assignments and make sure you post them. So if you do them, post them immediately so you don't forget them. That's probably the best way to do it. Like I would try and finish that by Tuesday and then download them, right? And so that way you're on it. You won't forget to do it because I know it can be a lot, but we'll work from there. But good, I really liked some of y'all's videos, by the way. I really, really enjoyed them. And so especially the ones on y'all doing the blind contours and just show it. I really like those a lot. I mean, this is the first time I'm doing it, but I really like your videos. So keep up the good work. I think somebody even had little, talked about things and everything. That also helps me too, and how you're looking and seeing, and it helps me, to what is your thinking behind this and what are you doing? That's very important when you're doing your drawings, because you're trying to understand, you're trying to, see. And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to see is how do you see, right? And that's going to be important. Okay, so that's it for me today. Anybody have any more questions or anything? Okay, well then I will see you next week at 5:30 with another assignment. And I look forward to seeing these. All right, y'all have a good one. And bye-bye.